Hey everyone, and welcome back. So, as I'm sure you've noticed, I'm not exactly back at home at the moment. I'm not in the UK. I'm actually traveling for business. I'm out in Arizona, and it's steaming hot. Not a bad place to be if you have to be somewhere for business. In this video, we're going to be doing a bit of an update from the greenhouse, but I thought I'd start this off a little bit differently. I was just logging into my website, which I used to control my greenhouse, and I thought it'd be a good idea to give you guys a bit of a view of how I look after things when I'm not at home. I do travel quite a bit, so it's a good idea to have the system in place so I make sure that my plants don't die while I'm away. So let's have a quick look at what I get up to. So if you have seen my video about automation and how I've set things up, this would be familiar to you. I haven't made a lot of changes on this, but the first thing here is this image over here. This is semi-live. This takes a photo every half hour and puts it up here. So I can watch if these leaves are starting to droop, then I know that these plants probably need a little bit of a watering. I do automate the watering. So you can see here the pumps are due to come on in a day and 17 hours. It has actually come on today, I have them set to come on every 2 days. But at the moment you can see the fans are on for the next 3 minutes. I can turn them off if I just click on that. The fan will go off as soon as the controller inside the greenhouse registers that I've done that. Over here we can see the temperatures. This is over the last 24 hours. It's averaged 21.7 degrees. This is the previous 24-hour period, and I'll just get a little bit of an arrow showing, if it's hotter or colder than the previous 24-hour period. And that's quite useful because of how I've done the timer now. So we can see here I've just done a fan override to switch that fan off. Pump 1 comes on for 10 minutes every 2 days. I don't set a temperature variable there, which means it doesn't matter what the temperature is, it'll still come on for 10 minutes every 2 days. I recently changed that. Somebody asked in the comments if I've changed my watering schedule because of the bit of a heat wave we're having. Honestly, at this time of the year when the plants are as big as they are, you need to have a more frequent watering. Oops, need to charge that. So that's why I've got it set every 2 days. Up until probably the beginning of July, I had it every 3 days for 10 minutes. And then we've got here, the pump 1 is going on for 3 minutes every day. So what that means is at 8 o'clock in the evening, if the temperature, the average temperature for the last 24 hours is 23 degrees or above, then it'll switch on for 3 minutes and give it a bit of a supplemental watering. That's on top of that 10 minutes over there. The pump 2, that's just to fill the reservoir that's inside the greenhouse. And then the fan intervals, we can see here I have one of them set. So the fan will come on for 30 minutes at 25 past 2 every day. It'll come on if the temperature is above 21 degrees Celsius. That's pretty much how I do it. It's really useful to have that system in place. It really is helpful, and it really makes it a little bit less stressful when I do travel. I can't expect my wife to have to look after everything in the greenhouse all the time, especially when I have so many plants. So let's get back to the UK, back to my greenhouse, and give you a bit of an update. I'm back in the UK, a little bit jet lagged, but glad to be home. Time to take you around the garden and show you what's going on. So it's been about a week now since I've been away, and a lot can happen in a week, and it's nice to take you around and have a look. I did have a quick look this morning, and there are a couple surprises in the greenhouse, but let me take you around and show you. But before we do that, I'm going to show you what we've been doing this morning, my wife and I. We've had a bit of a harvesting day today. So this is what we got out the garden this morning, and a lot more than I actually expected there to be. Couldn't believe how quickly these things have grown. These are my gem squashes. I honestly thought I'd probably have about 2 or 3 that are ripe, but as you can see, got quite a few, so we'll be having that on the barbecue tonight. I've been picking loads and loads of courgettes. Probably had about 20 or 30 lovely sized ones, but that's just one from this morning. And we got some peas over here. These are just normal garden peas. These are lovely. We've probably eaten about half of these while we were picking. And over here, these are snap peas. And this over here, it's meant to be a pattypan squash. Now, maybe I've just got a different breed, but I'm used to pattypan squashes being probably about the size of a coin, probably about that big. So that was a bit of a surprise. That thing's huge. So maybe I just left it too long, but we'll eat it anyway. I'm sure it's going to taste good. So let's have a look quickly in the vegetable garden before I take you inside the greenhouse. But have a look at that. Honestly, that's grown since I've been away, just for a week. That's grown probably about, I'm sure it was about there when I left, and now it's up here, and we've got the head starting over here, so really chuffed about that. My corn, the courgettes down the bottom here, those are just constantly pushing out new ones. You can see down the bottom there's some small ones that are almost ready. And this over here is where the pattypans are. We can see there are a couple more coming up. Oops. Over here we can see one coming through. I mean, that's probably a little bit bigger than that. That's what size I'm used to. And then that there is my gem squash archway. And you can see there are plenty more on there. Probably could pick a few more, but I'll let them grow a bit bigger. So we see down there, and that's way too small, but this is certainly a much better idea than I did last year, where I just let them grow down on the ground. By letting them grow up like this, it's a lot easier to pick, and it saves my grass from getting pulled up. Over here, these are the peas that I was picking this morning, and these over here are my snap peas. So let's go into the greenhouse now and check out what's going on in there. Straight away, can you see down there what I see? We'll go straight to it. But the first thing I noticed when I came in today were the lovely ripe cayenne. So we have 2 of them that have ripened up. My first ripe peppers of the season. Happy about that. We've got loads more coming up. There's a couple more ripe over here. That one's beginning to ripen. And hiding away at the back there are the Super F1s, and they're also ripening up. There's quite a few on there that are ripe. And where this Mr. Spider is, we can see the Sugar Rush peaches. These are starting to ripen. They're pretty much there actually, a little bit darker, and those will be ready. This one here, my Frankenstein Trinidad Douglas, this little beastie thing over here, still throwing out lots of flowers. I'm yet to see any peppers. Still got to wait and see whether they actually are going to produce. But definitely loads and loads of flowers, and also loads of new growth coming up on the stem itself. Over here, the 7-pot habaneros, we've got some fruits coming up. There's some lovely ones coming through. They're always a bit later in the season to throw fruit, but they're doing all right, so I'm quite happy with that. This one's doing a little bit better. It's a nice sized one. It's a bit of a funky looking one. I'm sure there'll be loads more as the season cools down a bit. So we've been going through a bit of a heat wave in the UK at the moment, and until it starts cooling down a bit, we're going to battle with some of the plants putting fruit out. They tend to like a little bit cooler than what it is at the moment. So my water butts got some water last night because it did rain, probably first time in, I don't know, 6 weeks. That's good because I was worried about them emptying out. You can see the cherry bombs over there. So nothing on the Naga Brain chocolates just yet, lots of small flowers. At the back, the Goliath Jalapenos, they're starting to get a little bit bigger, but still nothing crazy. You can see at the back there. Oh, there's another pepper, but I'm looking at the back there. If you look at the back plant there, there's some Goliath jalapenos, but they're not really that big yet. Probably normal size jalapeno as far as I'm concerned. This one here is the Cardi MOA Scotch bonnets. That looks lovely. I think we'll get quite a few nice sized ones there. So something else I noticed, a few of my peppers that I'm trying to save seeds from that I did the other week when I put these bags on, they have started to develop some peppers. So there's a couple of peppers in there. I'm going to leave it covered just for the moment, but I think those have pollinated, so that one worked out well. And I think another one up here as well. I think I checked this one today. I think that one's pollinated. I won't know for sure until the petals fall off, and then I can see whether it turns into a fruit. And there was another one back here. I don't think that one is pollinated. It's just going a bit yellow, so I think that one might drop. But I think this one here has actually pollinated. It looks like it's got a bit of a fruit forming, so we'll see. These are my peri-peris. You can see loads and loads of peri-peris. Nothing ripe yet. These do take quite a while. I need them to hurry up because I'm starting to run low on my dried ones, so I'm going to be looking forward to harvesting those. I just noticed at the back my Ramiros are getting huge. I think these are bigger than last year. Look at that. Look at the size of those things. There's one awesome one at the back there. Those are looking lovely. Lovely sweet pepper. I really enjoy those. Let's have a look through here. These are my jalapenos, and we can see fairly small at the moment, but some bigger ones towards the back there. These are all my jalapeno plants this here. That's actually a nice size jalapeno. That's probably bigger than the Goliath jalapenos that I was showing earlier. My pepper Jews, these are quite an abundant pepper actually, and they grow quite quickly. I've had to string up, I think you have noticed, I've got a lot of string going through here, but I've had to string these up. These were getting quite heavy on the branches. I already had one of my pepper plants break, so I had to make sure that I'm stringing them up quicker. I think these have got to be some of the biggest leaves I've seen on a pepper plant. It's the size of my hand. It's huge. So this is on the pepper Jew plant, but very impressive leaves. I think I might need to actually cut a few back because I think it's shading some of the other plants. So this plant over here is my Numex Bailey Piquin. You can see there's a few green peppers on there. Nothing ripe just yet. I think I have a plant that is trying to take over at the back here. This here is actually from the plant behind. I need to string that up to get it out the way. It's sort of trying to edge forward. Bit of work to do in the greenhouse just to take care of these things. So I was getting excited about the Ramiros that I was showing you earlier, but look at these ones. Here's another Ramiro. This one's not as big, but back here there's a couple big ones coming through. That one's going to be pretty massive. That one as well, you can see it's just started growing. That's going to be huge as well. And another one there. Sweet bananas. I need to look them up. I think those are actually starting to get to a point where I need to pick them. I want to pickle them, and I think they're ready for that. So I think the next video we'll be doing a bit of a harvest in the greenhouse. This is such a great time of the year. It's where we get to see the fruits of our harvest, both metaphorically and literally. But I think next video we'll be able to show you some fruits that we've picked, and we can start getting going with some of the recipe videos that I have planned. That's it for this video. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you again on the next one. Bye bye for now.